I wanted to talk about your book. I read your book yesterday. Great book. It's called The Hangover. And then the subtitle is Overcoming Emotional Addiction, 12 Steps to Emotional Sobriety. I think it's fair, and tell me if I'm characterizing it correctly. It's basically like a map or like a route about how to, first of all, define emotional addiction. Second of all, how you recognize the different signs of it. And then third of all,
Right.
you got a bunch of great suggestions about how to overcome emotional addiction. You define emotional addiction as basically being addicted to the highs, the emotional highs and lows of the relationship. And I think actually we could take that outside of the context of what you're talking about in the book and see some people are addicted to the emotional highs and lows of the internet and social media and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
right now. Right. And
absolutely.
so that rage and anger and all that stuff becomes somewhat addictive. But you talk about, and I, by the way, I love this kind of thing a lot. You talk about journaling, you talk about mantras, you talk about
Yeah.
surrounding yourself with positive people, you talk about triggers, you talk about recognizing mental patterns, and I want to hit those just real quick. So tell us a
Okay.
little bit about mantras, what they are, kind of how they
Okay.
fit into the book and your way of seeing the world.
Okay. Mantras in general are just positive affirmations, that we can Google or create yourself. Specifically for my book, The Hangover, I use it as an exercise. That's one of the things I love about the book because it really is a guide.
Yeah.
And each chapter gives you a free therapeutic exercise,
Yeah.
to engage in, to explore.
It's
And so the
awesome. It's
mantra,
very straightforward. I mean, it's you lay it out so straightforward. I
thank
love the
you.
way you lay it out. It's a very useful book, is the way I would put it.
Yes, and I like that it has a very evergreen approach. So no matter what you're going through, that at any moment you can pick that up. So the mantra is really about surrounding yourself with positive energy about yourself. Because if you are investing in you and making you positive, then it sets you up to be able to combat the negativity that you're going to face, regardless from people that aren't where you are yet.
Tell us a little
Yes.
bit about your experience and your thoughts on
Mhm.
journaling.
So your journal is a safe space for you to put your thoughts, no matter how politically incorrect they are, no matter the fact that you can't tweet it or type it. It's an area for you to express some of that aggression that we all have, that free will that we all have, and then for you to tackle it in your own time. The other thing that journaling does is it clears space for you to process and think clearly on the things that
Great
are the
point.
most important.
Great
You
point.
know?
Yeah. What do you recommend for people, first of all,
Mhm.
to recognize their mental patterns? And then number two, if they want to do something about those patterns, how would you
Okay.
suggest they go about that?
To answer the question of recognizing, it's either seeing the patterns in your writing or recognizing that you're still upset about this, that you're still talking about it. The other piece about that is the mindfulness and understanding your patterns. Once you realize that you are still upset about something, that it still triggers you, meaning it has an emotional pull. That's what a trigger is, by the way. And then once you realize that this is something that causes me to get irritated immediately, then that's the area that you need to focus on effective coping strategies. And coping strategies are, simply put, you putting things in place that allow you to still be your best self, even though your triggers are present. Our brain is our motherboard of our body. When you hear things about you can stress yourself into an early grave, yeah, stress is about thinking, and our bodies don't recognize good versus bad stress. It just knows that we're stressed. But what we do know is that when we produce negative thoughts, that causes negative toxins to attack our bodies. So the more that we can keep our mind healthy by making sure we're getting our omega-3s and our vitamins and our nutrients and talk about things that we're experiencing, if we don't want to talk, write them out. The more that we do that, the more that we are providing our brain a space for it to let go of those toxins, for it to release that negativity, and for it to restore and renew so that it can operate the way we need it to operate.